Well, now it's time for another In the Legal Know, and today we'll be continuing our three-part series on life estates. And with us once again, Vincent J. Russo. Vincent, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
All right,
Great to be here.
So far, we have covered the pros and cons of life estates, taxes, but today we're talking about Medicaid, right?
That's right.
All right, so let's just get right into it. How does Medicaid treat life estates when it comes to Medicaid eligibility?
Okay, so first let's be clear about what a life estate is. So a life estate is a legal right to live, use, possess, occupy one's home. And so in the context of Medicaid, a senior may transfer their home to a family member's children and retain a life estate. Now, under the Medicaid rules, when you own a home, your home is exempt from Medicaid eligibility, which is really interesting, as long as you're living in the home or you intend to return home, in case you were hospitalized, for example. So there's no eligibility problem, but there's a recovery problem that when you pass away, then Medicaid can make a recovery claim against the home. Now, when you transfer a life estate, it is exempt under the Medicaid eligibility rules, which is great. You have a life estate, you can go on Medicaid, and it's also exempt under the recovery rules. So when you pass away, Medicaid cannot put a lien or a claim against your home. So that's a big benefit of transferring your home and retaining a life estate.
Yeah, it's very interesting and good to know. Can you give us an example?
Sure. So mom owns a home and she needs long-term care and she cannot afford to privately pay for it. So she's going to look for Medicaid to help her. She transfers the home to her children, retains a life estate, the legal right to live there. She applies for Medicaid. She's eligible for Medicaid home care services. And when she passes, the home is in the name of the children, and there's no Medicaid estate recovery. And there's also some tax benefits. She retains the STAR exemption, and when the home is sold after she passes, there's a step up in basis and you save capital gains taxes. So a number of benefits in this kind of strategy.
It's all very interesting. So is there an actual waiting period before mom, in your example, can actually qualify for Medicaid?
That's a really good question, and it's complicated.
Right from the head right there.
So we're going to talk about New York law, because laws on Medicaid can vary state by state. So in New York, if mom transfers that home, she's immediately eligible for Medicaid home care, as long as she meets the other eligibility rules. And so there's no waiting period. But if it's nursing home care, then there is a waiting period. There's a 5-year look-back rule to see if you've transferred any of your assets, including your home. And then there's a penalty, a waiting period assessed based on the amount gifted and where you live. So it gets a little complicated. So it's based on how old you are when you transfer the home and where, in what county you live in. And then they determine a waiting period, number of months where Medicaid will not cover your care.
Complicated indeed, and that's why you are here. Is there like a best approach to protect your home?
Yeah, I think there are several options, and this is where planning in advance is so important. Life estates is a good option, but also there are exempt transfers. There are certain people and trusts that you can transfer your home with no waiting period penalty, with no penalty at all, or the use of a Medicaid Asset Protection Trust. So I have a preference. I like the Medicaid Asset Protection Trust for many clients, planning in advance, because it also allows the parent to keep more control over the house. And, control is important.
Wow, and you are a wealth of knowledge. We are so glad that you are here. Thank you so much for giving us that insight on this topic, Vincent.
Yeah, our pleasure. And we have a free elder plan guide with all this information at vjrussolaw.com. You can visit our law firm website. We have a lot of information there. See an experienced elder law attorney. That's the key.
Yeah, you need help navigating through all this.
Absolutely.
All right, Vincent, thanks so much.